Okay, so welcome back to Here for a Good Time. My name is Kia. If you're new here, welcome. I am going to pot up a couple of plants that I need to send out today. So I'm going to show you what I use and how I do it, and we'll go from there. First things first, I use one of these so I don't get dirt everywhere. It's just a mat that folds open and it clips on the sides like this. It's a little stiff right now, but it's okay. Makes cleanup afterwards really easy. If I get any dirt or anything in here, I can just fold it in half like this, dump it into the trash. Makes my life so much easier. So I also buy the little rolls of saran wrap. Also makes my life 10 times easier. I don't need the massive rolls. The little ones last me quite a while. So that's what I buy in the way of saran wrap. And then I have painter's tape, Scotch tape, and then depending on the time of the year, if it needs a little extra love and cushion and warmth, I have these, which are these little foam sheets that are perforated so you can just tear them off easily. You usually find them in the packing aisles, specifically made for putting in between dishes and things like that, but I like to wrap them around my plants. And then I also have bubble wrap. I also like to recycle. These were actually sent with my first wholesale order, and I felt like it would be such a waste to just throw them away. All it is just cardboard, tape. I know people don't always like to reuse because you never know about pests and things like that, but they're a very well-known greenhouse. So, I mean, I've looked it over. I don't see there being an issue with it, so I like to reuse if I can. And then I also have a little bag of fluff that I bought just from the store, or the craft store. I line my plants' leaves in this stuff just to keep the leaves and the stems from breaking. So we'll go ahead and get started with the first one. Sending out a philodendron orange marmalade. It's very cute, very cutesy. First thing I'll do is put the box together. This is a 14 by 6 by 6. So what I'll do first is I'll take a little bit of fluff, like so. I usually grab more than I need at first. I'm going to put a little bit of this fluff around the base of the plant, just to keep the stem from moving around too much. Then I'm going to take this saran wrap and start it somewhere just in the middle. And I have to be really careful not to get the leaves caught in it, but I do just start wrapping and around the plant. And it is difficult because, again, especially with leaves like this, I don't want to break them. I just want to make sure everything, the fluff and all, is still inside and secured. I definitely don't really spare the use of supplies in my shipping practices, just because I want to make sure that my plants are arriving alive to you guys and in the best condition that I could possibly have them in. I don't want to just skip using something and then have a whole problem with it being damaged or dead, etc. So there's no need for that. Sometimes I kind of just have to let go of this piece and just guide the saran wrap all the way around over the fluff. I want to keep the fluff inside Again, it is not super easy. It's not the most difficult thing either, but it can be a little bit of a pain. And when I feel like it's nice and secure, I will break it like that. Whoop. The bottom's nice and covered as well, so dirt isn't flying out all over the place, making a huge mess in the box. I'll take a little piece of painter's tape. We're going to tape that off so it doesn't come apart. If you're more comfortable with it, you can always put some tape across the top through here, just to hold it down, but I've never had an issue doing it this way, so this is how I do it. So I'll lay that back down. I'll take the extra fluff. I'm going to try to straighten out the leaves a little bit. I don't want to force them in directions that they don't normally go, as much as I can possibly keep it from doing so, but I do want to keep them from breaking and bending as much as possible. So like this one, you can see this one's already bending downwards, so we're just going to let it bend that way. I don't want to try to flip it up this way and end up breaking it. I will also put a little fluff in the middle as well, and over the tops. When I feel like it's nice and secure, we're going to go ahead and take this side. Hold on. We're going to add a little more fluff to this. You don't always necessarily need 2 pieces of this foam, but we're just going to go ahead and do it this time. I'm in a bit of a hurry just because post office does close at 5, and we are in the evening right now, so, and I have one more plant to package. Just want to make sure I get them both out this evening. I don't want to keep people waiting any longer than they already have been. Unfortunately, where I live, the weather's been really awful the last couple weeks in a row, minimum. It's probably been more like closer to a month. Temps dropped below 30s and it got really snowy for a very long time. I do not ship out my plants if it drops under 30 degrees. So I try to give my customers options. They can either have a refund if they purchased off my website or off of Etsy, something like that. Tape the bottom, by the way. The sides like that. And then I just, if they want a refund, I'll issue a refund, but if they're okay with waiting, I wait till the weather's nicer. We ship everything out. And there we go. So it's nice and just tight, packaged, feels good. I usually take, well, it is going to be nicer this week. This week it doesn't look like it's going to drop below probably 40s at night at all, so what I'm going to do, I'm not going to add the bubble wrap. I don't think it's really necessary. This is already really nice and protected by all these extra layers. It's not going to be too awfully cold, so that's how I'm going to do it. So I went ahead and I wrapped it in this. And I'm going to go ahead and add just one little layer of bubble wrap. It's not going to be that cold this week, but I do want to make sure that, that's fairly well protected from UPS, you know, kicking it around and things like that. So we're just going to roll it like that. So there you have it. And then I just go ahead, actually, hold on, I'm forgetting something. I do like to add some slight flair to my packages, just to show that I care. And I know it's not a big deal, and it's not necessarily something that's like And it's not really like that big of a deal, obviously, maybe to some people, but I like whenever my packages look like this. I think it's extra cute. So, after doing that, I'll place it in there like that, like so. Okay. So we have that one. Okay, and then one of the last things that I do is I print off a packing slip, I fold it up, and I place it in here along with a business card, has the QR codes on the back. Everything looks nice and good. And then for insurance purposes, just in case something were to happen to said package, they try to say that they didn't damage it when they did. I take pictures while I'm packing and when it's done, just as a precaution. Throw all this in there. Then we're going to go ahead and tape the top. And then at the end here, I just make a label with their name and everything on it. I don't currently print out my own labels, but I will be doing that soon. It's just not something I've got around to doing yet. And then the very last thing that I do is I print off one of my nursery certificates. It gets placed right into the box with tape. And then the nursery certificate gets folded up and I put it in a little envelope that has tape on the back and it gets put right onto the box.